Hello, thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hi, we're just gonna hang in for a couple more minutes until we get more people in.
Okay.
Recording.
Hello, everyone. We're just gonna wait a few more minutes for others to join. Well, hello, everybody. How are you today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm glad the snow went away.
Ah.
So before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that I am recording this event so I could post it on our website for future viewing. And let me share my screen and we'll get started here. Okay, can everybody see the identity theft screen? All right. All right, so today is identity theft. Don't let your life be stolen. It's part of the Domain CCA financial literacy courses. This is number 4. So they start in August and they run all the way through summer. So what is identity theft? It's risks, excuse me, to your assets. So being aware of risks to your assets prepares you to take steps to reduce those risks. So an asset is something that you own that has value. So that could be, money in your bank, that could be your car, your house, anything that's worth money. And the risk is the potential for harm to that asset. So unfortunately, you cannot eliminate all risks. So make sure that you're making informed choices and anticipate risks. Be careful with personal information. Know your rights and responsibilities. So over on the right here, it says ways to protect yourself from identity theft. So secure your hard copies. If you have anything really, really important, like your social security card, any mortgage papers, anything like that, make sure they're locked up in a safe box or something that you have at home, or a safety deposit box with your bank. Or you can also examine your financial statements. So anytime you get a notice from your bank, whether it's online or through the mail, even your credit card bills and things, go through those and make sure all of the transactions are something that you actually did. And then when you're making passwords, make sure that they're strong passwords. Use different passwords each time for each of your accounts and devices. I know it's kind of a pain to have to make up a new password for everyone, but it's a lot safer in the long run. Or use the one that comes up that's like the fabricated number that they say, use this strong password. That also really helps. And then protect your computer. So invest in a strong anti-spyware program to protect your hardware from hackers. So when your subscription runs out for your spyware or your protection for your computer, make sure that you renew it as quickly as you can so you don't have any gaps where you're not protected. And then be wary of suspicious emails and websites. So if you get something that looks like maybe it came from Target, but it looks a little bit strange, don't open them. Especially if you do, just look at the email. Don't click on any links, because more times than not, it's going to have some kind of virus that's going to affect your computer. Also use two-factor identification. So that means when you log into a particular website, you'll have your regular password that you're going to enter, but then it'll ask to send you a code, and then you'll have to enter that number so you're able to get into whatever website. And then avoid public Wi-Fi. So if you're out and you're sitting at a restaurant or Starbucks or somewhere, be really careful and try not to use a Wi-Fi if you're in the open public like that. Does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay.
I wanted to clarify that when you're talking about Wi-Fi, you're talking about an unprotected Wi-Fi network. So when it says unsecure, that is the Wi-Fi network that you have to be cautious of. Because
Correct.
even on campus, I know there's some connections that want you to connect, but they're unsecured networks. So you have to be careful not to update passwords during that time of being on an unsecured network.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So continuing on with identity theft basics. So remember, your identity is also an asset. And identity theft is a crime that happens when someone uses a person's identifying information without authority. So that could be your social security number, your bank accounts, your credit card numbers, anything that would identify you as the person that they're stealing the information from. And then ways that criminals steal your identity. So there's phishing. I'm sure we've all heard of that. That's where they trick you into giving personal information, often through the email. There's vishing, which is phishing by phone. And then there's this funny one that's a smishing, and that's kind of hard to say with phishing by text messages. But it is a real thing. And then there's spear phishing, which is targeted phishing. And then farming are like fake websites. And skimming is stealing credit card or debit card numbers on like ATMs, or when you're at the gas station, the fuel pumps. They put a skimmer on the machine that steals all your information. And then social media scamming as well. Has anybody had any of these situations?
Yes.
Yeah, I've used my credit card like at a couple places, and they've hacked in and stole all the credit card numbers. And then at a gas station, I got one. So Kimberly, what was your experience?
Well, when I was younger, it was in the 90s. So they put somebody else's account number and my name on a check, and I couldn't close the account or ask about the account because it wasn't my account. And I had to get the FBI and Social Security involved. And then somebody else stole my ID and actually took out a loan for a house out in New York State about 2 years after I left.
Oh, wow.
And then they defaulted on the mortgage. Excuse me?
Were you able to get everything cleared up?
Yeah, it just takes a while. And, the affidavit's a forgery and the proof that you weren't doing it. And that's kind of why I'm in this class, because now the cyber age, you got to kind of keep up with that every year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just changes all the time. And like you say, there's skimmers, and farming is a new term. I never heard that before.
Yeah, and it's happening so much more often now. So we have to be careful with everything.
It just happened with my credit card. Somebody went on Facebook and took out an $800 ad, and then 3 days later took another $1,200 ad out. And then somehow and I don't pay for anything. I don't even have PayPal, so I'm not really sure how they accomplished that. But I do have Facebook, so anything's possible. And then, I went camping for a week, came back, and my account was locked. And my car broke down in the mountains, and I couldn't use any of my cards or anything like this. Thank God I have AAA. But yeah, it was a mess because somehow they
Okay.
got a hold, and I've worked it out to where, it's been a month and a half, so I switched on my uh, information, everything. So, I'm not hemorrhaging money anymore, and I've gotten a lot of it back. But just the difficulty of being somewhere in the middle of
Mm,
the woods, and
not having
I even
access.
got so everything is automatically taken out of my account as well. So all my bills were bouncing, including my rent, and my the place I'm living at right now is a rental, and they have a 3-day eviction policy here in Denver. So at the place I'm at, so I came home to an eviction notice. Oh, it was just crazy.
Oh, that's terrible. Thank you for sharing though.
Yeah, thanks.
So the warning signs of identity theft, know the signs. So check your bank accounts if there's withdrawals you didn't make. If you're missing bills and statements, if you have a mailbox that's out where the public could get in and steal some of your mail, always know what you have to pay and see if there's anything missing. Or if there's like merchants refusing your checks, credit card transactions not going through. Keep your important documents secure, like we were talking about, and be aware of identity theft on the internet as well. So start to ask questions like letters about accounts you didn't open up. Call the people that sent you those notices to see what they're talking about and explain it wasn't you, or statements of credit cards you don't have, debit collectors calling about debts that aren't yours, passwords or usernames not working. Clean up your financial trash. So review your financial accounts regularly and carefully, and be aware of disaster-related scams. So again, with checking your accounts, you want to make sure there's no unfamiliar account on your credit reports. You don't get any medical bills for services you didn't receive, your health records for conditions you don't have, multiple tax returns or inaccurate tax records, notification about a data breach, or keep your important documents secure. Again, we can't stress that one enough. And then minimize the risks by guarding your personal information. Don't respond to unsolicited requests. Protect your mail. Sign up for direct deposit. Review your financial accounts regularly and carefully, and review your credit reports at least once every year at annualcreditreport.com. And then each of the 3 credit bureaus will give you an annual credit report as well, but you could stagger it throughout the year. Like get one in January, maybe another one in June, and then one at the end of the month. So you can check everything throughout the year. Let me just check the chat. There was a question. Yeah, so someone from an iPhone also had been a victim before, and we all have to be cautious. That's very true. So examples of misuse by criminals is they'll open credit cards in your name or their name, and then open utility accounts, apply for a tax refund, get a loan, apply for employment, get medical care, all with your information. So the impact that it has on you, the victim: denial of credit or loans, denial of public benefits, denial of Medicare, harassment by debt collectors, lawsuits, stress or anxiety caused. It's an embarrassment. I know when I went through a couple things, it was like, how could I fall for something? You feel so silly for letting something like that happen. And then time and expenses spent on recovery steps. It's a long process to get everything cleared sometimes. Okay, so what to do if your identity theft, if you've been a victim of identity theft? So work with credit reporting agencies to respond to the theft. Place a free fraud alert on your credit reports. Initial, the time when it first happened or extended time period. Dispute inaccurate information. Consider placing a free credit freeze on your accounts. And then again, get a free copy of your credit report at theannualcreditreport.com. So make sure that you're in communication with your creditors and debt collectors. Alert anyone about fraudulent accounts. Get copies of documents related to the theft of your identity. Ask them to stop contacting you about fraudulent accounts and get written information about the fraudulent accounts. So I'm just checking the chat again. So someone also went through the eviction notice, like when Kimberly was talking earlier. Let's see, that you have to be behind for more than 30 days, and it is 10-day notice for a month-to-month lease for a year or more, and a 90-day notice to quit. So you might check into this with the Colorado Legal People or Brothers Redevelopment Hotline.
Thanks so much. It's a long story, and typically, yes, and COVID did change those situations, but when you sign a lease that gives them access to evict you in 3 days, an example, low income or Section 8 or rent assistance type place, they can make their leases whatever they want.
That's good information. Thank you. Okay, so here's the credit agencies. So Equifax is located in Atlanta, Georgia, and there's the phone number, or you could go to their website. Experian is in Texas, and TransUnion is in Pennsylvania. So those are the three that you should report any suspicious activity to, and then frequently go to see what they're reporting at each agency. And then also if you use Credit Karma, that's another really good one too. It's kind of a one-stop shop for things, and it talks about all three of the credit bureaus, so all the information would be there. And then reporting identity theft and getting help. So create an identity theft report at identitytheft.gov. So if you scan the QR code, it's going to take you to the screen on the right side of the page. And then, or you could just automatically go to their website. So here you could get free help from the identitytheft.gov website. You could get a personal recovery plan that walks you through each step. Create an identity theft affidavit that you can review and update at any time. So that's just kind of like letting them know what happened and reporting your information. And then get customized pre-filled letters to send out to credit bureaus, businesses, and debt collectors. Return anytime to update your plan and track your progress. And then get advice about what to do if you're affected by specific data breaches. So I'm not sure, this isn't real easy to read, but once you're in there, they're going to ask you which statement best describes your situation. So the first one is someone filed a federal tax return using my information. Someone used my information to file for unemployment. I want to report another type of identity theft. Someone has my information or tried to use it, and I'm worried about identity theft. My information was exposed in a data breach or something else. So if you click on whichever one applies to you, it'll lead you to more questions and other ways of getting it resolved. So one of the things it's going to ask you to do is to make your report. And it says, what did the identity thief use your information for? So there's like credit card accounts, telephone, mobile, or utility accounts, debt checking or savings accounts, employment or taxes, government benefits or IDs, loans or leases, or other account types like internet, insurance, securities, medical, anything else like that. And then also, this is the affidavit that I was talking about earlier. So it's going to ask you for all your personal information, and then you'll have to explain what the situation was so they could start investigating. So if you suspect identity theft occurred, here are more guidelines for reporting the steps. These you should do right away. Step 1, call the companies when you know fraud occurred. Step 2, place a fraud alert on your credit reports. Step 3, report identity theft to the Federal Trade Commission or FTC, or you may choose to file a report with your local police department. And then what to do next is close new accounts opened in your name, remove bogus charges from your account, correct your report, consider adding an extended fraud alert or credit freeze, and review your credit reports often. So again, all of these expand to give you more information on each of the topics here. So other possible steps, depending on which situation you're in, is report a misused Social Security number, stop debt collectors from trying to collect debts you might owe, replace government issued IDs, and clear your name of criminal charges. And then here are other steps if something happened with like your utility, phones, government benefits, checking accounts, student loans, apartment or house rentals, investment accounts, or bankruptcy filed in your name. So other types of identity theft could be special forms. So like a tax identity theft if someone's filing taxes with your information, child identity theft. A lot of times, a baby that just gets a Social Security number, someone will steal that information and start using it. Medical identity theft is like we were talking about earlier. If all of a sudden you're getting bills for a procedure or something that you never had, it'll tell you here, if you click on the plus, what to do in those situations. Also, you want to start a recovery plan with the identitytheft.gov. So again, and I was talking about placing fraud alert on your credit reports, reviewing your credit reports, filing a report with your local police department, and consider placing an extended fraud alert or credit freeze. So I know a lot of these things keep getting repeated, but it's really important that you follow all these steps. So reporting an incident to our Aurora Police Department Economic Unit, they're the ones that would handle like fraud, forgeries, identity theft, credit card fraud, and scams, including those performed on the internet or via computers. So over on the right is the information. I'm not sure, are you able to see the phone numbers and the addresses for the police department? So calling the non-emergency number is 303-627-3100. And someone will be dispatched to your home or place of work, of course, within Aurora city limits, to go over your information and see what happened. And then also, oops, sorry, let me go back to that one. I was trying to clear the chat. Sorry, guys, let me start from that one. Sorry, he doesn't want to go back. So let me try it again. Okay. Let me reshare it. Okay. Sorry about that. So you could go to police headquarters, which is at 15001 East Alameda Parkway, which if you come to our Center Tech campus, it's just right across the road off of Chambers and Alameda. Or you can file a report online and then bring any documents such as credit reports, credit card statements, letters, or contracts that may assist with them helping you, and bring a government issued ID such as your driver's license or passport for identification. If it was an internet purchase or auction, you can contact the Internet Crime Complaint Center website and report the incident there. And then also, there are free resources for the community. You could go to the Federal Trade Commission Consumer Information, which is www.consumer.ftc.gov. There's lots of information there and free booklets that are in English and Spanish that help protect the community and yourself. So that's all I have for today. Are there any other questions? Yes. Okay, well, I appreciate everyone coming in today. And our next
Judith, I have a question for you. When you ordered the credit report from Annual Credit Report, how do you opt out so they don't pull the marketing inquiries? Is there a way to do that so you can monitor inquiries?
No, it'll show everything that's been pulled.
No, but I know there's a way to like alert them that you don't want to give approval for inquiries without your consent. I just forgot that.
Yeah, you would have to contact them and talk to them, because if you're just going to do like the annual credit report, it's going to show everything.
What I mean is like not what it shows, but what you can request so that you're protecting. Like if you put an identity protection alert on your credit report, there's like extra steps that you have to take. But one of those steps ahead of time is to limit the amount of marketing inquiries. And I just forgot, like, I don't know if you can do it through Annual Credit Report or if you have to contact each one, like TransUnion is separate.
Yeah, I think you have to contact each one, because that's why I was saying, and otherwise it'll show everything on your just request a report. So you would have to contact them individually.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, so next month on January 25th, the next event will be Spending and Saving Basics, and La Raza Empowerment will be joining us as our special guest. So hope to see you then. That one's going to be, I believe, at 1 o'clock, but there'll be information out on the website. So if no one has any questions.
Thank you. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Yes, you too. Take care. Thank you.